Welcome, welcome. This is the first episode of the T.R.O.Y cast. I know you may have seen my face before with TCC, Troy Center Chronicles, but this is a little different. Right now, today, I have two of my good friends with me here. We got Mr. Vincent Mays, one of the highest recruits in Fresno State history, this guy right here. And then we got Mr. Isaiah Green. I think he still holds the record for the 40-yard dash at Fresno State. We'll let them introduce themselves real quick, starting with Mr. Mays.
Thank you, Nick. My name is Vincent Mays, founder, CEO of Collide Inc., a social media debate platform for higher education that just launched inside of Fresno State this year.
Awesome. Isaiah?
I don't have a title as cool as theirs, but my name is Isaiah Green, and I have many hats, just not one on today, but I am looking forward to a lot of laughs today, for sure.
Okay. Thank you. First and foremost, man, it's a pleasure to sit here between you guys and just talk about some things that we talk about on a regular, but now we have a camera in front of us, so it'll be the same kind of conversations that we've had in the past, with a little bit of structure, if you will. So today, we're gonna talk about balance, okay? So I'm gonna ask each of you all, what is balance to you?
Just going off top, it's like a real vague question because you can apply that to your life, you can apply that to your work schedule, you can apply that to your relationships, whether it's with the opposite sex or friendships. You know what I'm saying? Balance to me is huge on how I deal with my everyday life, how I may deal with mental health stuff. Just making sure I'm one of those people, and you guys already know, bruh, if I'm a work hard, I'm a party hard.
Yeah.
So that's a form of balance, you know what I'm saying? Working and be able to multitask and probably like I work for myself, so and I have people who work for me also, so balancing those relationships of people and how they work and learning their attitudes and what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and am I able to do all of that while playing my daily Call of Duty with my older brothers, maintaining that relationship of balance, like with family, since we're not in the same city. I've gotten to master that for myself, but it's like a daily thing you have to deal with, because you're dealing, especially in the business that we're dealing with people and also helping people or influencing people. So balance is huge when it just comes to our everyday life. And once you're able to master that, you cause less stress on yourself, which means, I believe, less mental stress on yourself, where you can be like a blessing to and loving the people that you interact with on a daily basis.
I love it, man. Isaiah?
Man, no, that's good, V. What is balance? I'm trying to like be super serious right now, because every time we get together, we just like to have fun. So I'm trying to have some structure, like we talked about, but also want to be very authentic. So when we talk about balance, I guess for me, the simple answer would be, I'm big on like definitions, right? So like the answer that comes to my mind is anything of equal sort of measure that keeps you steady and upright. And so, that can look like a number of different things. We talked about your relationships, your work. Like we always talk about like having things on the calendar, right? Because I think as we've gotten older, we've assumed more responsibilities, right? And not even just in the workspace. I'm talking about like in your personal life. I'm talking about in your physical health, your spiritual health, your mental health. Like there's so many avenues and aspects that we talk about that really require a sense of balance. So anything that when I think about balance, anything of similar equal measure that helps you or anything stay upright and steady.
I love it. Awesome. And we talk about balance because here at the Troy Center, what we want to do is make sure that we are balanced this year and moving forward, right? So working with the youth, one of the main things that you kind of alluded to, Vince, was the stress part of it, right? So what we're wanting to do is help our youth balance their lives, right? So then that will alleviate a lot of their stresses, right? We have a lot of youth that we work with that they come to school, guess what? They didn't even have a meal the night before. So now they're in school, we're asking them to learn different things, but their stomach is actually growling at the time that we're trying to teach them things. So where is that balance at, right? So balance can help alleviate a lot of stress for sure. So yes, in the structure part that you alluded to as well, Isaiah, was something that we talked about earlier on. And if you have some structure, I think that structure helps with balance, like you said, right? So with our youth, once again, going back to alleviating stress and then giving them that structure, then we can help them balance their lives. I love it. So real quick, so we talk about balance. I started with you. Let's stay on that kind of track and just say, when did you realize you needed balance? When did that become a reality for you, Isaiah?
Man, great question. I don't think I can't look back and say like there was a singular moment that I can point to and say, dang, I need some balance in this area. Right. I think as I've gotten older and just experienced life as it comes, like you start to realize when you're out of balance. You know what I mean? And what that looks like, when I say out of balance, you're like, oh, something's maybe missing, or I feel like there's not a lot of, I may feel like, and I don't like this word, but I may need to fill up in this area, right? And I think we have really good sort of intuition, like instinct, to where we know, like, hey, something's off. Like that's the word we may use, right? Like something's off, right? And so I think it also is like situational, like you used going to school hungry, right? Like immediately, dog, I'm off balance because eating for me is like important.
100%.
Before I even came over here, I was like, yo, I want to be at my best. Yep. And I hadn't eaten yet. Right. And so I was like, let me go grab something to eat before I come over here, because I know that is a tangible thing that would help me be at my best, right? And so, you know, when we talk about balance, I think, again, it can go into any sort of arena, but just really pay attention to yourself, right? Really pay attention to your instinct, your gut, trust yourself, and really, I think you can feel or understand or learn when something is off balance. And I think as you move through life, you start to realize, okay, well, I might need to feed my spirit a little more. What does that look like? I might need to be still. I might need to write. I might need to pray. I might need to, have some free therapy with the homies. You know what I mean? Like, or hey, man, I'm not looking as strong as I used to, right? Like, okay, then I'm a little off balance because that's important to me, right? So I might need to work out, hit the gym, sleep, whatever the case may mean. But I think it's really that instinct, and that spiritual instinct that sits in us, man, that's like, okay, something is a little off, and we need to pay attention to that and figure out where we need to pour into. So that's what I would say.
Okay, I love it. I will pose the same question to you, sir.
Yeah, you mentioned free therapy. This I think we be unlocking stuff within each other's heads while we have conversations, because I was going to speak on something else, but while listening to you talk, I'm like, that makes so much sense, because you have to know yourself. And a lot of people don't know themselves. You feel me? So, and I didn't know myself for a long time too. You feel me? So you would go through life being unbalanced and not know it. You feel me? People could be able to use you to balance them and then let you go and so you just going through you going through life unbalanced, but people mess with you because you didn't help them out, not knowing that you probably may be losing something of yours. You know what I'm saying? Going through life unbalanced. You feel me? So that's the first thing that popped into my head. Now when I realized I was unbalanced in certain areas, it was the stress part. I'm creating a tech company from the ground that nobody's ever seen. So I'm trying to learn the coding, learn the language that they speak, learn the etiquette of being in tech, going to these conferences, stuff like that, and then trying to design the app, trying to design functionality. And I'm starting to think to my head, bro, why am I stressed out? You know what I'm saying? Why? I got an attitude I don't even know what for. You feel me? Until I started, okay, now I'm realizing stuff within. Now I'm bringing other people on board to relieve that stress. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be a real leader, a real boss, and not just say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a founder, CEO, like I am Collide. You feel me? So I have to give parts of myself, okay, trust that person with this, trust that person with that, and that's cause to less stress.
That's real. Can I piggyback off that? Or no, absolutely.
So man, you mentioned like being a CEO, a boss, and like the visual, because I'm a visual guy. So like when people talk, I try to like paint pictures in my head, right? Like you diving head first into this arena to where it's like you have to give it your everything, right? So like I just imagine like these meters and these bars, and you're pouring everything into this Collide, right? Like everything it takes. So you just filling this cup, filling it. But as you're filling it and as you're putting all of this attention into this, what about the other areas of your life that you may not be giving as much attention to, right? And so sometimes when I look at balance, it's not like, you know, everything has to be equally distributed, right? But it's like, okay, I want to be great in this area, but I can't be below like 20% in this area, right? So, you know, let me pour into this area a little. And this doesn't need to be as equal as this, you know, as my CEO. Every cup ain't gotta run it over, right? But just enough to where, like you said, you know, to where it's like, okay, you know, I can pour in an hour a day or 30 minutes a day to feel more balanced as I continue to pour into X, Y, and Z, right? Like, and so that's kind of how I visualize it, man. For you visual learners out there, that's me. Yeah.
I love it. And it's just ironic that you alluded to the work element, because the next question coming into it would be, how do you create balance in the work environment? And so just let me just step in just real briefly. The second question was, when did you realize you needed balance? And then now this one is, how do you create balance in the work environment? What's ironic is you as the CEO of Collide, trying to make sure that you're balanced, giving, you know, different tasks to different people and trusting in them that they'll do it. That can create some type of level of stress to where you got to figure out how to balance that. For me, being a CVO, the Chief Visionary Officer of the T.R.O.Y Center, that's something that I struggle with now. So I would say that in my life, I've had different points where I felt that I needed balance, but I didn't know that's what it was because I was stressed out. I didn't know I needed that extra 2 hours of sleep or whatever the case may be. But now, as this leader, as the visionary of this company, it's something that without the balance, the vision would not become a reality, right? So I will pose this question to you once again. How do you create balance in a work environment? V, you wanna go?
Yeah. That goes to, I can't remember the test we took, but and I don't even, they get paid for this test, so we're not gonna pub it. But when you take the strengths test, right, that's when I started noticing, oh, this shit makes sense. Right. This makes sense. Yep. I'm figuring out my strengths. I'm like, yeah, I like to do that. Nah, I don't like to do that. I like to do that. Oh, that's me for sure. That's me for sure. So when you start getting into that and dissecting, and then you're the CVO of the Troy Center, right? I'm the founder, CEO of T.R.O.Y, right? When we are letting people, this is like our baby. You feel me? So when you're letting people into that space, as far as employees or whatever, project managers, whoever you're bringing on, independent contractors, whoever you're bringing on, like, you vet them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this person? You know what I'm saying? What does this person do? Can I even work with this person? Yeah. I don't care if you do a good job or a great job or the best. Can I work with this person? Right. Can I trust this person in the hands of, you know what I'm saying, my baby, right? So when you do that, now you can start breaking down that team of people, and then that's how you create balance, because you know this person, okay, I know this person gonna get some stuff done when I need it done, right? This person may not be able to get the stuff done, but they're gonna create a great work environment. They got ideas and stuff that they can, you know what I'm saying? And now you start putting these people with them, and that's the balance right there. You feel me? You're actually giving them balance too, because you're not gonna put two stubborn people together to work. They ain't gonna get nothing done. You feel me? So it's you as the visionary to see that, right? And then that's, I feel like that's how you implement it. You as the boss, as the leader, as the visionary, as the CEO, have to learn your people. And I think that's a bad thing. People just hire people off of resumes and not off of, okay, how's this personality gonna fit within the group of people I got? It's just like a football team, and we all play football, right? Hey, I can't have all these folks in the room if they all the same. You feel me? Different people I got linemen for a reason. I got linebackers for a reason. You feel me? And that's how I put my team together, and that's how I put my group of friends together that I'm around all the time. You feel me?
Got it. That's good. I love that. Isaiah?
Yeah, no, that's good. First of all, man, I'm sitting here and I'm in awe of you black men. Like, for real, I want to say that. Like, it's really inspiring and cool to see, man, just being surrounded by black excellence, man, and black bosses. You feel me? And I really enjoy being in y'all's presence. As an individual who played at the highest level in the NFL, I remember there was a corner that I played with when I was in Indiana with the Colts. And one of the things he said to me, I was a rookie, just coming in, you know what I mean, fresh, knucklehead, green, trying to figure out the ropes. Vontae Davis, I think he was there for a few years, had a nice career. He looks over to me, man, and we're having just an honest conversation. He was like, look, dude, like, you are your own corporation. Like, that's how you have to treat yourself. Not only in this league, but as you go through your life. Like, you are your own corporation, meaning you are your own business. You are your own, you know what I mean? I was going to say some few names, but I can't drop them because y'all not paying us. But, you know, you are your own corp. And I took heed to that. And so when you talk about creating balance in a work environment, to me, that's like, the work environment for me is like everywhere you go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To me, it's like that's everywhere you go, and it's like who you are at the office, who you are, you know, outside of the office, who you are on the field, who are you behind closed door, whatever the case may be. Like, who are you? Like, how do you create balance there? You know, I kind of think of it in that way. But if we're specifying it to just work in general, I think one of the biggest things that helps me really is knowing what you want to balance, for one. Right? Like, sort of just writing those things down. I love writing things down. They say you remember 70% of the things that you write down. So really knowing what it is you want to balance. For one, like you said, knowing yourself. And then two, man, really just having a schedule. I think for me, just really having a schedule. You know, I want to spend, 30 minutes doing this. I want to spend 30 minutes doing that. I want to spend 4 hours doing this. Like, really just sort of having an opportunity to map out what balance looks like for you, and being disciplined enough to be able to execute that. And so that's what I would say. That's how I would create balance in my work environment. And ditto with the boss CEO, V. Mays said as well.
Got it. I love it. Well, listen up. I hope you all enjoyed this first episode of T.R.O.Y. We brought two of my closest friends here in Fresno, California together to talk about balance. How are we going to do it? Are you going to follow us to see? Leave a comment in the comment box below to let us know what you think about T.R.O.Y.'s first episode and balance. How do you balance your life? Let us know. Peace.